Good evening, and shall I say, my dearest gentle readers, what an exciting time. So, we are going to, I'm going to start with I'm cleansing the space, opening us up, relaxing us. So please, if you're going to join me, settle in for a little while and give this time to yourself. This is a new edition for 2026. Every month I'm going to come to you and we are going to delve into what's ahead for us, what's coming up in the month ahead. And we're going to do that, not just me, but we're going to work together to bring it about so that you have a greater potential to receive what you are working towards manifesting, to receive the healing, to receive the alignment, to receive the joy. That's what this is about. As you can see here, I have one of my soul activation boards. It's always present. It practically lives here, and the fact that I've got a candle, it's working this evening. It's supporting us. And I am just going to check, before I get too much more into it, what's happening in that you are receiving the live in the group. Yes. And certainly, if you are here with me, please comment where you are from. Now, I'm just going to, so that I can, often I don't always see the comments here on my desktop, so I occasionally have to check the phone, just so I know that I'm not missing anything. And I can still connect with you. So one of the things that I'm going to invite you to do with me is place your intention in the comments. Whatever it is that you are working towards and you would like to see support from Spirit from, in the comments, I'd love you to post that. So whether you are here with me live or whether you are watching the replay, then by all means, put your intention in the comments so that you receive this energy, that you receive this support, and your request goes out to the universe and to those who are working with us in spirit. You can see here, I have a very sick friend at the minute. She's a very close friend and is very, very sick. So I have got here, I'm asking for some healing for her. So that's what this little piece of paper is right here at the minute. That's my request for the month of February. May her healing come through smoothly, with grace and ease, without too many further complications. May it do that. So here I am really about going to dive into the energies for February. I've not done any preparation. I've not looked into them myself at this point. I'm saving it to do it here with you. And all that I do, for those of you that don't know, I am a psychic medium. mystic, more of a mystic these days than a psychic medium. And I work to support women to grow into their connection to spirit, build trust in their intuition, their mediumship. I have mentored mediums for over 20 years, and I also help women to heal their relationship with money. And one of the things that I always love to do, and I've done it for myself personally, and is to forecast, is to have a conversation with the universe and with spirit about what are coming up in the energies, because for me it gives a little insight. It helps increase my awareness around what is going on and lets me know little snippets and insight so I can navigate my way with greater ease. And so that's the whole purpose around what I'm doing here, is to bring awareness for you, to bring you some support and activation, and to help you navigate the month ahead. So as we move into February, and I just, for me, what I'm writing, a lot of my connection flows easy and quite naturally when I write. And okay, so I can actually now see that there are some comments, so thank you for being here. Hello, everyone. So Lucy wants to strengthen your psychic abilities. And thank you for being here. So we are activating all of that. So just as I write, it opens up my channel, and all I need to do is then ask some questions to begin with. And I guess the first question is, what does Spirit want us to know about February? And I'm seeing that at the beginning of the month, there's a breakthrough and a floodgate opening. And this floodgate then becomes about serving and supporting us going forward. So I'm just writing a couple of notes. That's very early on in the month, to be honest. And Spirit is making me aware that as it happens on a smaller level for individuals, it's also happening collectively. So I'm going to say that next week around the full moon, there is a big shift with floodgates opening. And that, actually, what I am seeing is even more uprising, more aggression. I feel like some of what's happening in America, there's even more pushback from the people. And this is going to create a big, when I say breakthrough, it may not be a pretty breakthrough, but it's a breakthrough. And I feel like, and as I'm saying this, then we are going to see an impact on economies and finances and things like, while I'm not an economist by any means, things like inflation going up and those sort of experiences. And I think we do have here in Australia, we do have a Reserve Bank rate call next week, don't we? So watch for that. That may not be stable, I would say. It may feel like there is going to be an increased RBA rate. I hope I'm wrong on that one. Okay. Okay, so that's the early, sorry, I'm just working with an image of the US president, shall we say. I'm just seeing, and there's a lot of fluctuating around him, a lot of fluctuating, and that's already happening with his health, but that's going to continue to increase. This is also having an impact on, I've been saying for quite a long time that everything that's happening in the US is actually going to see that superpower decline. I first got that message from Spirit back in 2012. And I feel like some of his health issues are influencing that. People are going to continue to question what he's doing, question his cognition, and I guess go off, and other countries will be just doing what they need to do, looking after themselves. So his health fluctuations and his cognitive issues are going to have an impact on that. And that means countries like us and other countries are just going to put less credence on what they're doing, on what they're being said, and just try and get on with business, essentially, which will see them be pushed out as that superpower, as people will just be ignoring them. I do feel like that there's a flood of energy coming through for a lot of people with this breakthrough. And I guess if you saw my predictions for 2026 back in December, I spoke about how the energies for 2026 can either be clarity or chaos. And it's this energy, this flood of energy that's going to come through in the beginning of February, where it can be chaotic if we're not focused and set on our intentions. And I've been saying all the way along, this is not a year for wishful thinking. This is not a year for you to be leaving it up to, oh, let's just see what happens, or just going about doing life the same way you always have. It will then lead you, as you flow into that energy that I'm feeling like a massive river of flow. If you are not grounded, if you are not connected, if you are not magnetizing and focused with your intentions, instead of it being flow, it will be chaos. So just be aware of that, please. And if you haven't got your intentions out, sorted for 2026, then please, by all means, get onto those. I'm just making notes. I am sensing that this big breakthrough of flow that's coming in the month can be super helpful and can be, if you harness it in the right way, if you capture it in the right way, it can flow you along. So whatever flow you along for the rest of the year is the goosebumps I'm getting. So what I would suggest at that point, if you have any doubts, any confusion around your direction, any uncertainty around what you are doing, then I would highly recommend booking a wealth code reading with me if you haven't had a session with me lately. Let's get that sorted for you, but really use this information, and over the course of the next few days, really sort of sit down and hone in on where you're headed, what you're doing, getting really clear on your direction, and therefore when the flow comes in, you'll know exactly what actions you need to be taking, because it is there. And it is going to show up for everyone in different ways and in different circumstances, but the flow of energy is there. It's almost like in my mind, I've just got this, like, if you can imagine, just this rush of water and flow coming in. I don't feel like, for me, I'm not predicting a flood. I'm talking about a flow of energy, is what I'm seeing that's coming through for everyone. I want to talk about health, and in particular, if you are being challenged with your health right now, then I am being told that information is key, that don't push it under the rug. So if there is anything that's niggling, anything that you're dealing with, don't push it under the rug. Do the things like gather as much information as you can, because it's going down that pathway that leads to answers. It's going down that pathway that leads to improvements. And I feel like I am talking to someone here specifically. So if you are watching the live, there is someone here that needs that information. So go down the pathway of researching, and don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt your intuition around this. Like, if you feel like that there's something in the back of your mind that's sort of like been niggling at you about your health and you haven't actually actioned that yet, then this is me telling you to pull it from the back of your mind into the front, do some research around what you're feeling, and go get some support around that, please. Just moving on to money flow, and I just feel if you have been in a space where your money flow has been a little bit dry lately, probably over the last 6 weeks or so at least, if not longer, if it has felt like it's been a dry spell, then know that that floodgate that I'm seeing opening is your flow reactivating. So you will see your money flow start moving forward again. And that's a really great thing. Really good thing for you. You'll feel like you can sort of just, okay, it's okay. You know, like you'll feel like that. I'm just trying to think. I just had something else come in amongst that. I'm just trying to reconnect with it. I would say that if you have been working hard in this area to manifest abundance, then over the course of the last 6 weeks where your money flow has sort of been a little bit dry, you've actually been healing. You've actually been letting go. You've actually been letting go of and clearing what's needed to happen in that space. So that you can, so when you come back into your money flow, you may see an up level, you may see it be a little different ways that it comes in for some people. Like I can see that there are people that are going to have a large sum come in, like a big influx, so they may have a win. You may have some form of unexpected refund. There's a big influx for some people. That is there. And that all feels to me like it's in the early part of February. Now I'm going to ask you, I'm making some yeah, I'm just looking at your comments. I can see that. Thanks, Lucy. And I can see Jem get a little excited. So yes, I'm going to say, like, so I'm saying all of this information now. If you have these experiences, if this happens to you, please come back and let us know, right? That's what this group is for. So please come back and let us know that it has happened to you, and we can celebrate. We can celebrate the work that you've done to get there, right? So because it all comes with some, precipitated by challenge, doesn't it? It's the nature of the soul journey. So what I want to do now is I am just, for those of us that are many of us are here all on the soul journey, all opening up our mediumship, our psychic abilities, our sacred feminine, doing all that juicy, gorgeous stuff. So I'm now just like tapping in and asking, what does Spirit want us to know around that? And I would just firstly say that Spirit is working with you. And I'm going to say this is partly for you, Lucy. Spirit is working to take away the doubt, which means that they'd be working on your sense of self-belief within your humanness. So increasing the belief in yourself and to eradicate the doubt. The thing that I would say about that, having been a mentor for a long time, is there really is only one way to increase your confidence around that, and that is to feel the fear and do it anyway, and to practice. To give yourself the opportunity to work with Spirit, to practice using your psychic abilities in different ways, and allow Spirit to show up for you in that way. So I'm going to expand on that though, I think, because if there is, in regards to the taking away the doubt and spirit working with you to remove your doubt around your psychic abilities, I feel that actually is flowing through not just about psychic abilities and mediumship, not just about your connection with spirit and that relationship, but also for people that are consciously manifesting, for people that are working in environments where you are not valued. They're strengthening that sense of self-doubt there. And that's the journey that you need to go through to get to a point where you'll leave that environment and change jobs. So there's just some work unfolding in that direction in the first place. That's wonderful, Lucy. I'm so excited to hear that. Lucy does work with me in my mystical mediumship membership. She is part of that group. So, and of course, if there's anyone else here that would like information on joining us for that, then by all means reach out. We'd love to have more people in that group, more people for people to practice with. So definitely like that thread of spirit working on self-doubt. Is a theme in February. So I just want to share a story here in that on last Saturday, I think it was, I woke up and Spirit had said to me something was going to download that day. That was a little bit mind-blowing. I had no plans at that point to do any writing or to even sit with Spirit, really. But as the day went on, I felt the need to write. So I thought to myself, okay, let's go do some writing. I need to see what this is about. As I sat down, in the book that I'm writing at the moment, I'm at the point where I'm writing a chapter about my relationship with Spirit. And I started writing and acknowledging how that I have had many times where I've questioned my faith. Many times where I have never questioned whether spirituality is for me or my connection to Spirit. There was never anything about that. There was never any chance of me actually ever walking away from a relationship with Spirit. I certainly would question a lot of what was happening, a lot of why it was happening, and often there were many times when I was on my knees with the fluctuations of faith. Anyway, as I was doing this writing, Spirit actually said to me that it was because I didn't know who I was. And I just had this sense of knowing that Spirit wasn't talking about not knowing who I am in my humanness, so not knowing myself as Kerry, because I do know who that is. They were actually talking about not knowing the essence of your true self in your soul experience, not knowing that, what you were capable of there. And that's what was mind-blowing. Like it was just this light bulb moment going on of going, oh wow, okay, that's huge. And now I need to be curious and open to think beyond what we know or what we're told, or think outside of humanness, and just be open to what new information or new life experiences can spirit give me. And remember, I'm already someone that will go to the beach and work with the waves, to get them to calm. Or I think we were there last weekend and I was literally like, so that we were a little bit too close to the waves coming in, and there was a bit of a risk of our stuff getting all wet. And I just said to Pete, you know what, I'll just sort of get them to just stay away a little bit and work with them in that way. And they did. It didn't, they didn't come close enough to affect us. And then as we were leaving, I was just thankful and grateful for that. So I guess there's more of that sort of thinking, more of that sort of what are we truly capable of? And I guess for me, it wasn't the doubt. So I feel like Spirit's going to be working outside of those bounds throughout February. And as we push through some fear, we'll unlock that breakthrough and that flow that I'm talking about. So at this point, I want to pull a card. I want to pull an oracle card for February. This always, just pulling a card always helps me to, again, just take it up another notch, get more information around stuff that I'm not, where I'm not controlling, a little bit more of what the Spirit want us to know. And I have my old faithful Spirit Guide cards here, and love. I always shuffle and then go with where I'm drawn. And today we have dolphin and playfulness. And I guess Spirit is really coming through and talking about the fact that we can serve ourselves well and create a greater sense of harmony by letting go of some of the shackles and limited beliefs, which is pretty, that's pretty cliche really, isn't it? But by doing that, you can make it easier to do that by leaning into playfulness and having fun and enjoying yourself. And when it gets too heavy or too chaotic or doing anything like that, around the middle of the month, I'm hearing, is a good time for distracting yourself with playfulness. And of course, it's Valentine's Day, So, yes, Gina, it is the year of the horse, the year of the fire horse. However, I am going to say, those changes can be clarity or chaos. If you've heard some of what I've been saying from December, all about our intentions through to now, that we need to get really intentional. It's our intentions that magnetize the energy for us, that magnetize the support. So those changes are not guaranteed to be a positive for people. They're just not guaranteed. So we need to do the work. You'll be far better placed if you can rightly say right now that you are showing up in 2026 as a new version of yourself. So done lots of rehearsing last year. Good. That's what I want to hear, Gina. I want to hear that you've done the work. I want to hear that, because that is putting you better placed for to ride that positive wave of energy and that breakthrough of energy and that momentum and action that is coming through for the rest of the year. It's definitely there. That's the energy that I've been tapping into. So, and for everyone that needs to know Gina, she is the beautiful lady behind G's Creations who has made my soul activation boards. So please go look her up on Instagram, Facebook. It's G's Creations, and that's spelled G-E-E-Z. She does lots of wooden toys for the littlies, birthday cake toppers, my soul activation boards, and yeah, thank you, Gina. Yes, I think everyone is learning that that's my logo. They are slowly making their way out into the world now. It's been a little, it has been a little something that's sat in my heart for a few years, and it's just taking a little time to have the resources to get those. So but that's happening now, so I'm very excited, and you are welcome, Gina. I thank you for your support. So more playfulness. I'm just going to say that means even if you need to schedule it in, even if you need to schedule in the playfulness because you're so busy, you will be surprised at how lightening of the energy that can be, how when you step out to play, that the downloads and the inspirations and the answers can come instead of sitting in it, trying to, throttle your manifestation or trying to work out how to do something or what's going to happen. Take some step out, and some of that is needed this month. So if I can give you some homework, the big thing of homework is going to be scheduling some playtime this month. That's the homework for everyone, and I want to hear. I'm going to post at the middle of the month, I'm going to post that what is everyone doing for some playtime. So that is that. So I want to work with you guys now. I want to, what is it, whether it's anything that's going on in the world, whether it's something personal, what is it that you would like some help with from Spirit? Post in your comments, bearing in mind I'm not seeing it on my screen. I've got to look on my phone. So feel free to ask things like, what's going to happen somewhere in America? What's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? Anything like that. Anything, what do you personally want to work with? I feel Lucy had mentioned her psychic abilities, and I feel we talked about Spirit's going to work on the doubt with that. Having a hot flush. So if anyone has any questions in that way, I'm literally sitting here with a little fan. It's a little bit hot under this light. Can I explain my soul activation boards? What do they do? Okay. I would love to do that for you, Lucy. I guess you can liken them to a little bit of a crystal grid, right? You can liken them to that. what they do for me is they support everything that I do. Everything that I do. So if I'm running a class, if I'm connecting with a client, if anytime I'm working with spirit, if I am sitting down of a morning having my coffee and doing my morning ritual, my morning gratitude, my morning offering, there's one of these present, and it has different things. I use it anytime I'm sitting down to manifest consciously, to ground in my desires. And what generally, this is my logo, and the design of the logo is that this is all the people, this here, this part here is the moon, is a representation of the moon. When the graphic designer designed my logo, that's what it was. This up here begins with the directions, north, east, south, west. I do use them as those directions because my energy is shamanic. So I do work with the elements and the directions based on Native American Indian. This for me is center of the universe, and I personally always work with a candle here. You may work with a candle, you may want to draw an oracle card as well. Sometimes I do both. I use these when I'm doing readings for people even. And then I will put crystals in the 4 directions and just go with what I'm drawn. But it certainly, what it does is it focuses the energy. It focuses the energy, it brings the grounding of the energy in place. And as you can see, I've got a little one here tonight focusing some healing energy for my friend. I've got one of my closest friends is very, very sick right now. For those of you that do know me and my friend group, the Nanas, one of my Nanas is very, very sick. And so I'm trying to, we bring her some healing and hopefully she'll be on the mend. She's been in hospital for a long time. So that's what they do, Lucy. I recommend them for anyone. What I would say is that you find your own way of working with them. There's no right or wrong in any of the ritual aspects of them. Know that it's my energy that's infused, that it's there supporting you, but you find your own way of working with them, when you want to work with them, how you want to work with them, and certainly they are available in my Etsy store. So I will post that link in case anyone would like to buy one. I'll post that link in the replay after. If anyone would like to make a home for it. So that's what they do. Thank you for asking. And as I said, Gina is the lovely lady who produces them for me. So is there any other questions, any insights, anything else you would like to know? We can also, I might even delve into the wealth code energy for the month, I think. For me, the wealth code energy, and just a reminder that what my wealth codes are all about is the Sacred and Sassy Wealth Code is all about, it's a soul map. In your aura, it's a specific part of your aura. It's like a web. It's about a web that catches your manifesting. And really is a soul map around how your purpose needs to show up in the world so that you are abundant with it. So it highlights information around what archetype is your manifesting and therefore your purpose lies in. What are your blocks with that? What actions are needed to create more alignment? So as we come into the month of February, and I guess this is the information, the Wealth Code information is going to be the information that is going to help us navigate February. It's going to help us, all of us, create alignment, whether it's your Wealth Code or not, right? So the Wealth Code for February is the archetype of the devoted, which is pink. It's the pink auric colour. And this is for February. The devoted. Now, the devoted is the archetype and the person that generally is there and supports everyone. Supports lots of people with the energy of love. They're the people in the family that everyone relies on, that is there to support everyone. They are, you know, people like our nurses. They are the friend you go to for advice. Often, though, they are out of balance with that. Often overgiving. Often, and I am just hearing that if we're going to get in our own way this month, it is through overgiving. So overgiving is something that we need to be aware of as we move through February. So holding boundaries around that. The devoted, pink. We can lean into the energy of, and I can remember doing this for myself, and I'm just going back to when it was 9 or 10 years ago. It was just before I was coming to that place of awareness around my marriage. But I was doing some inner child work. And I remember connecting with my inner child and sort of what was the information that I would give her as a 47, 48-year-old. What would I say to her? And I sort of said to her, you know, love yourself as much as you love others. Don't stop giving, but just learn to give to yourself and learn to love yourself as much as you do for others. And I guess that's the energy we need to take into February. So giving to yourself as much as you give to others. And I am feeling that that's really, really important, even in some of the most difficult circumstances that are going to come up in February. That's a key to a breakthrough for some of you. I can feel that there's some of you going around and round in circles and you've been trying everything. You've been like, what do I need to do? You know, you've perhaps you've tried all the affirmations, you've tried all the mindset work, you've tried the healings, you've tried so much. And you're sort of like going, when's it ever going to end, right? That's the energy that can create the breakthrough for you, is to really just shift that you start giving to yourself as much as you give to others. That as much as you would show up for your kids and your family, that you would show up for yourself in that way too. And because I really sense that that's what's missing, that's the missing piece. Okay. Now, Gina, I have a man here that I believe is quite likely your father. Gina, are you still with me? I'm just looking to see if you're still with me, Gina. Yes. Okay, good. So I fit two things he's showing me is I'm seeing, and whether this is him or someone else, I'm not sure, but he is showing me some bowel condition situations, some plumbing issues. He's also sort of wearing like a little hat that he's just sort of tipping off a little bit. It's not a what's the word? I'll have to sort of dig out a picture and describe what the hat looks like. It's sort of like from the 50s and 60s. It's going back a little bit, and he's just tipping it as if to, like you would when you say hello or something along those lines. Oh, okay. Used to do that with his bald head. Okay, well that's lovely. So this is just his way of sort of saying hello, I guess. And one of the things is he's telling me is that what I said about giving to yourself as much as you give to others is he's wanting to reiterate that to you, right? And he's saying that he is saying that you served him, right? That you gave to him. You looked after him. Now, I will say, I do know that Gina's father had passed. We've had conversations around that. The message around giving to yourself, Gina, is what he's talking about. So when I was talking about the being the devoted and how often those people need to find balance with their giving and being over-giving, doing too much for others. What your dad is reiterating is when I was saying that, that's when he stepped forward and said, I needed to give you that message specifically. He wants you to find balance in that. He doesn't want you to stop doing for others, but he wants you to put yourself first a little more. And really, sometimes that means if you need to say no, then be brave enough to do that, you know. If you need to say, look, I can help you, but I can't do it right now, I need to do it in a few days, then say that. It's asking, right, okay, so he's giving you the message, he's coming through and saying this is, they can't do it for us, Gina. That's the thing. They can't do it for us. They can only sort of highlight the fact that it happens. It is up to us to make that behaviour change. And as I said, it's not about stopping it and saying no. It's about making yourself as much as a priority as you make your girls and your grandchildren and your husband and your son and all of that. And because I do know Gina, I've been to her house helping her with some hauntedness that was going on. So I've met some of her family and her beautiful girls. So I would just say, Gina, like it's time to, in the month of February is the energy that's going to support you to do that more, is to actually really be putting yourself first. And I'm glad to hear that, because it is in doing that that we create balance, that we create freedom. It allows for more answers to flow in, for more money to flow in, for your business to flow more. It allows for all of that. It is even your dad saying to me that you feel like you haven't felt him around for a little while, or you haven't been able to connect with him. Does that make sense? Okay. He's telling me that the reason why you can't connect with him or can't feel him is because of your overgiving, because you're invested in everyone else too much. So he's around, he's there, but you just can't feel him because your energy is too expended elsewhere. Does that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's what he's saying. No, he's not talking about it being your grief. And I don't feel a block in your grief, because I would feel that. Okay. All right. Awesome. I will leave that there. Thank you, Gina. Thank you. And let me know how you go with that through the month of February. And if you need any support, any questions, then by all means, the group is here for that. But everyone be really mindful of our overgiving in the month of February. So I'm going to leave it all there. Oh, you're welcome, Gina. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And that's it. You just never know when a beautiful gift like that is going to come through. Beautiful. Thank you. Tell your friends. Tell your friends. You're welcome, Shona. Thank you for being here, everyone. Have a fabulous February. Have a fabulous February. And I will see you again soon. So take care and God bless. Thank you.